How's it going, guys? How are we doing? Beautiful community, that's right. Today, we're going to teach you here, with the great wisdom of the boss lady, how to have macOS as if it were just another application on your Windows 10 or Windows 11. That's right, this methodology is for both, and the best part is we're going to do it with the system's native tools. That's right, we're going to use the full core and power of WSL. If you don't know how or what it is, we invite you to stay until the end. Yes, see you, boss lady. Hey, you who love the apple, right? Haha, let's go. Come on, let's start with this video tutorial. Alright friends, keep an open mind, okay? Why? Because what you're about to see next is not complex at all, and I'm telling you, a person who didn't understand the terminal at all, right? A couple of years ago, okay? And now, with the methodology I have, believe me, I will guide you step by step, so that you understand each of the things you're about to see. Because many of us, when we see a command prompt, a terminal, or just a fact, commands of the penguin, that's right, the famous Linux, we have a great fear that says, no, that's too difficult, I'd rather quit the tutorial and go for something with a graphical interface. Believe me, it's not complicated at all. And you will learn it in such a short time. Alright, the first thing you are going to understand, and what we are going to keep in mind. I am going to open what is my hardware. Okay? I am going to... right click on what is the button. Start. Let's go to the system part, right? Here is something you must keep very much in mind. The equipment you must have at a minimum, no matter what, should be Intel or AMD from a not too old generation. That's right, this methodology applies to both AMD and Intel. Correct? It can be with Intel Core i9. Like mine, it can be with an i7, it can be with an i5, i3, no problem. Which generations? From the 6th generation upwards. And the same applies to the AMD ecosystem. If you have an AMD Ryzen, even the most basic option works, but at least it should be a Ryzen 3200G or higher. You can do it with earlier ones, but it's better recommended from the 3000 series. Agreed? Very well. RAM memory. Yes, it must be. 16 GB. Less than that, what I'm going to teach you will not work well. You might say, hey Victor, but I have 8. Yes, it will work, but it won't function correctly. So, we are talking about having a Mac within our Windows. Well, it's simple. You should know, or at least think, that you need to have double the hardware to support 2 systems at the same time. Agreed? That's it. Once this is clarified, I will also go to what is my task manager. Agreed. And here in what is the processor. We have to say here, but then where it says virtual machine, an option should appear for us. Like here. It says it's not available, but it should say that virtualization must be enabled. Let me show you how my other machines manager is. Ready? There it is. Virtualization. Enabled. This should appear for both the Intel and AMD ecosystems. If this is not enabled, well friends, no matter what you do with what I'm going to teach you, it won't work and it won't run. Correctly? Okay. Once all these points are clarified, now we can begin. Let's go to our search bar and type the keys CMD. We are going to run it with administrator privileges. We say yes, and there we will enter the following command exactly as I am saying it. Yes? There it is. You just copy yes, right click, copy or Control C, and right click in the terminal to paste it. Type WSL space -- install. What is WSL? We are talking about the Windows subsystem for Linux. Alright? Let's press enter. We say yes. Once the operation is complete, it says it was installed successfully. We are going to close the terminal by typing exit. And now we go to start. We will click here and then click on restart. Once our computer starts, let's go back to our search bar and type the word Ubuntu. There we see it. And in fact, if it doesn't appear, well, this is an option, but the terminal should automatically enable itself. It's installing some final modules, so let's wait. Go ahead. Ready. It appeared automatically for me. There are some occasions when the terminal does not appear automatically, so the most recommended thing is, as I told you, you go here to what it is. Ubuntu, okay? Just like that, you press it in your search bar and run it as an administrator. If it appears automatically for you, great. What a wonder. There it is asking us initially for a primary username. In my case, we are going to put, the community channel name or Wikiron. We press enter. And here I just made a rookie mistake. Every username must be in all lowercase letters. Sorry. Okay, go ahead. Or Wikiron. And now it asks us for a password. Remember that the password is not displayed like in Windows terminals or some other terminals. So make sure to type it correctly. I am going to enter the password. Everything went perfectly. Now then, look at what we are going to do. It's super simple. First, before anything else and before settling any other nonsense. Well, let's directly enter a command. Yes, which is the well-known sudo apt update. To be able to update the entire repository of the Ubuntu ecosystem, you just copy, Control C, and then a right click to paste it into the terminal. We press enter. There it asks us for the confirmation of the password we just entered previously, and we press enter. Now, the following commands I'm going to give you are to create the template. Base, okay? For our virtual machines within what is macOS Ventura. Obviously, that's why we're going to use the well-known QEMU and all the necessary packages to carry out this nice installation. Normally, this type of commands or parameters are installed. Everyone, I've seen quite a few tutorials where they do a complete installation when they enter this command line. You do it one by one. It's the best way to avoid errors and conflicts. Let's do it, okay? Just copy and paste, all right? Very well, there it is. We right-click in the terminal and press enter. Done, there we have the first one. Let's move on to the second one, please. All right, right-click, copy. And we press enter. There it asks us for a confirmation. We type the letter Y in uppercase and press enter. Okay, let's move on to the next one to be able to have everything that is needed. The virtual manager, which according to right click is already perfect. Now, let's move on to the next one. You already know, okay? And we are going to do exactly the same with all the others. And when obviously there is, a need to confirm with a letter, we just type Y in uppercase. In uppercase, please. It also accepts lowercase, but then suddenly there are some indexing errors in the packages. That's why uppercase Y is going to be crucial. So we do the same with all the others. Very well, friends. After completing the installation of these previous packages, we will now be able to create virtual machines in Ubuntu using the KVM hypervisor, okay? So, here we conclude the first stage, alright. Let's move on to stage number 2. Very well, you are going to open your preferred browser, Chrome, Mozilla, Edge, whichever you have, and you will redirect yourself directly to the GitHub repository that I am providing you right now. Thanks and credits obviously to this creator for the magnificent creation and for what we are doing. Very well, we are going to go to the bottom part, okay? And here, as I was saying, everything you just entered is this command line, which if you copied and pasted directly into the terminal, it would also execute. But as I said, in most cases, it causes an error. That's why it's not recommended, okay? Very well, the second stage begins here. You are only going to copy this command directly, okay? I am going to do it, in fact, to make it more interactive. I'm going to put it like this. You already saw it. That's it. Okay? We just copy. Okay, we copy again and right-click paste. What was the purpose of this command? It simply downloaded all the packages we will need to set up and create our macOS virtual machine. Now, within this package, there is a folder called OSX KVM, which is where it will link and where it will place all the virtual machines configuration. How do you realize this? It's very simple. Here, I'm going to give it space. I'm going to do an ls. We press enter. Right? Again, sorry, ls. Enter. And there we are seeing yes. what we have in the folder called the OSX. That's where everything related to the Mac environment will be nested. Okay? Very well. Let's move on to the next one. So that we don't see and don't get confused, we're going to, do a clear to clean the terminal, press enter. There it is, all clean. We're going to repeat this command line to see if we have the latest version, since I just realized that I'm not in the folder where I should normally be. When we execute the first command, we need to be in this directory. Do you realize? And we're not. So, if we press ls, you'll notice that I need to be here. So, right now, we're going to enter. You need to type cd space. You just grab select Ctrl-C and right-click to paste and press enter. Now we are in the folder and the directory. I don't know why it didn't work for me, but well, if it's your case and the same thing happens to you, make sure you are inside this root directory, which is where we will be configuring the entire folder. Watch out for this. Let's click directly now to update the repository. Let's go, it's done. And we press enter. Done. It tells you that we are obviously on the latest version. No problem. Now we can continue without any issues. Alright, let's go ahead and select this option here. Okay? You're going to copy it, right-click, that's it, and paste it and press enter. You might ask, what is this for? Simply, my dear friends, it's to see if the server is working and communicating correctly. If you get an error, then you did something wrong earlier. Agreed? Very well. Now, here's the next step. Attention! Here we are going to choose the architecture of the processor we have. Okay? If you have AMD, you are not going to copy this. Copy everything and paste it? No. You are only going to copy the command that is for your processor. In my case, right-click, go to the start button, system. And in my case, I have an Intel processor. Okay? Therefore, I am going to select Intel. But if it's your case and it's AMD, it would be the second line. Agreed? Very well. I am going to select up to here only. That's it. Right-click, we copy A and paste. Here, we press enter. Done. Perfect. Done. There it is. Now, with the next parameter, we are going to create the users and groups within our QEMU. Agreed? We are going to copy and paste. We give it a... Oh, I pasted exactly the same command, sorry. Done. Let's give it a click here. Done. That's it. And I execute it. Go ahead. Done. Let's press enter there. That's it. Very good. We're making progress, guys. We're making progress. Up to this point, we finished the first configuration or the second stage. Now we are going to download the Apple files to be installed. Let's copy the following command and right-click to paste. We press enter there. And which version are we going to install? You have 7 versions. You can install whichever you like. Obviously, the repository is more consolidated and there is better backward compatibility with Ventura. But if you obviously want to do experimental testing with Sonoma or any other from here, go ahead. Okay, no problem. I'm going to go with Ventura, which is currently the most stable option, and it's recommended for a reason. I'm just going to enter number 6 and press enter. Once it's done, friends, obviously this will depend a lot on your internet speed. If you have a slow internet connection, this can take quite a long time. If you have fast internet, you'll download it quickly. And also, obviously, if your computer is connected with a UTP cable, it will be much faster than with Wi-Fi. Very well. Now, let's move on to the next command. We're going to convert, yes. I'm going to type ls here again. Okay? And if you notice, I currently have a base of an EMG point. So if we execute it this way, for the environment we are setting up under the Linux Penguin ecosystem and under Windows, it won't work for us. We need to convert it into an image in IMG format. And that's what we're going to do with this here and with this command. You just copy it. Right click. And we press enter. But it didn't copy correctly. I'm going to click it because I'm going to use the keyboard. And ls means it's fine. Ready? And let's copy if directly here. It's already done. Let's hit enter. Until punk, not super fast. Okay. There we will hit ls. Enter. And we have already converted from this mg point to the point. img okay. Now if we already have almost everything ready, okay, let's go for the next command, which is this one. Here we are going to create a disk with certain storage to nest all the configuration and obviously the macOS Ventura operating system. Let's click here on copy and right click, okay. Copy. Ready. And we are going to hit enter. It's already created, go ahead. It's already created. Here we would finish this stage. And now we are going to start with what we love. Okay, let's go. With the next command, which is this one. Copies. And right click to paste. Yes. We can minimize this now. We bring this back here. And let's see what happens. Watch out. Careful. Attention. I have a problem there. Why? Because first you need to put sudo space. Now yes. We paste the command just like that. So it can execute the action of our burn environment. Let's hit enter. From here on, well friends, we are only interested in this. Attention! Do not close the terminal because if you close it, all the work is finished and we won't be able to do more things. Okay? Why did I do this on purpose? Here in our terminal, I'm going to minimize this a little bit. Yes? Because if you notice, here, in what is our list of commands, it doesn't tell you to use sudo here. Obviously, if you're a beginner, you won't know this, but if you're already experienced in Linux, well, there you go. I'm missing a parameter, right? That's why I did it on purpose, okay? But don't close this, for the love of God. Leave it there as it is. Quietly, minimize it so it doesn't get in the way, and let's go. Here. Very well. We are going to select here what is the base of the system. Let's hit enter there. Falling fast, sitting there praying that the site's gonna last. You got it all on tap. I'm loving your vibe, always happy. Perfect. And here, my friends, if you already know the Apple, you already know it. First, we go to what is disk utility. We click on continue. And we are going to click here where it says burn media. Yes, the first option. We click. Sorry, here on the second one, sometimes it can be the first or the second. Make sure it's the disk with the largest capacity. In my case, it's the one that has 274.8 GB, okay? And that's the first one you need to select, okay? Then we are going to click here where it says erase or on root, and you will give it the name you want, okay? In my case, I'm going to name it the famous Mac 13. Once you have given it the name you want your partition to have, you click on erase. Once our format is finished, we click here. Click on down. And now we can close the disk utility part. We click here to close. And now we go to the second option that says reinstall macOS Ventura. Then click on continue. We click on continue again. There we click on accept. Perfect, we add the license terms. We choose this drive, the one we named macOS, not the blue folder. Be careful with that, not the folder. We select it there. And that's it. Okay, look, we continue. And wait. When you get here, you will select the Mac OS installer partition. Note here, you need to be patient, please, and don't forget to select both the preview, the previous one where we selected this macOS installer partition, because it asks you again. Do not select another one, because if not, you're going to mess it up. It will get complicated, and you'll have to start the whole process from the beginning, okay? Select macOS installer, not another one, okay? So that it doesn't create any conflict for you. And be very patient, because it really took approximately, and on the computer I have, almost 40. Well, An hour. A pot, yes. A pot, an hour to not make a mistake. So let's hit enter on this partition and be patient because in the end, it gives a good result. Okay? We select it, please, and we give it, a delicious enter of life so that it continues with the installation. Be careful with everything I'm telling you and be very patient, my brother. Okay? If you've reached this point, likewise, congratulations, guys. I think you've already waited an hour and a quarter, an hour and a half. It all depends on your hardware and the internet speed you have. This is done to make it happen in the shortest possible time. Look, it already appears here. The label, no longer Mac Installer, but now the name of the partition we gave it appears. Once the name of the partition appears, we can declare victory, because what follows are just configurations. We already have Superman, Mac, or let's select the language and do all the configurations you do on a traditional Mac. And let's celebrate. My friends, with this I say goodbye. I hope you liked this tutorial. Really, the same. For more details, you can check out our streaming session where we did a full Q&A section, as we clarified a lot there and showed, of course, how we did it step by step, just like here. Obviously, the streaming lasted, not the minutes you're seeing in this tutorial. It lasted much longer because we did everything from start to finish with the actual real-time durations. Real, okay? Honestly, I invite you to do it. It's very much beyond what it is. The conventional part of a Hackintosh is much better, even, than a Bingware or a Hyper-V, okay? See you! Until next time, don't forget to subscribe and leave your delightful like. Bye-bye.